Wrestling POV's content may not be suitable for some audiences. Your discretion is advised. Wrestling POV's content may not be suitable for some audiences. Your discretion is advised. Wrestling POV's content may not be suitable to modern audiences. Your discretion is advised. Wrestling POV's content may not be suitable to modern audiences. Your discretion is advised. Wrestling POV's content may not be suitable to audiences. Your discretion is advised. Wrestling POV's content may not be suitable to audiences. Your discretion is advised.
Hey fans, welcome to another edition of Wrestling POV Global. That's right, I'm your host, TJ Logan. With me, the man who I refer to now as the gentleman, Elio Canal. I have to say gentleman because no matter how outrageous I accuse him of things, he'll just say to me, no, I think you're misinformed.
I'm sure you're mistaken.
There we go. Oh, I know his love for OV is deep in his... No, I'm not even going to start this week. Elio, it's just before Christmas. Just before Christmas. Literally just a couple... we're not even going to tell you guys the mystery of the show, but we're really close to Christmas. And for us, in the independent world, the biggest card of the year happens just after the new year, and we're going to talk about it today. We're going to talk about Wrestle Kingdom. We're going to go over the card. We're going to talk a little bit about the wrestlers. We're going to talk a little bit about what's going on. Elio, are you excited?
Oh yeah, I can't wait to get into this. I'm looking forward to Wrestle Kingdom.
Well, you know what? First,
I've started getting into JPW. It's really cool.
It's a unique alternative to WWE, and but before we get going, I think we have a little business we got to attend to. Okay. Now, last week, you and I had a face-off. The question was, are the so-called legends of wrestling, should they be a draw? Are they a draw? Are they valuable enough to be a draw in indie wrestling today? You said they weren't. I said they were. We talked about it. We yabbered on, as both of us are like to do. And I have the results. Are you ready for these results?
I'm ready.
Okay. Now, I'm not going to be too arrogant here. But this is the second one I've won over you of a vote of 79% to 21% agreed with me. However, there's a few caveats here, and I'm going to explain them right now. Okay, we had someone write in named Juan, and please don't get mad if I get your name wrong. Juan Espilot. Okay, he wrote, I was trying to comment before, but I couldn't. Don't know if it was a poll thing. However, one of the biggest flaws with wrestlers after their prime or once they retire is often they try to keep living the dream through the indie circuit, which is cool for the nostalgic fan, but often led said legend either getting a later injury, not allowing new talent to get a shot, or staining their legacy. What I like to see more of is legends starting their own promotion, pushing new talent, or scouting, training new talent. Well, Juan, that is some excellent points. However, I guess in my view, I agree with the point that I don't want to necessarily see these legends ever wrestle. I don't mind if they come down to the ring. I don't mind if they step in and put the finishing move on. But let's face it, there's a reason they're not wrestling anymore. So I'm going to say, Juan, I agree with that. And the other comment I had is from Simon Christopher Davis, who wrote in, if used to push local talent, then yes, but make sure they can still perform and not shit the bed. Well, once again, I'm hoping that if we're going to use legends, we are not, in fact, going to let them wrestle. You know, I recently saw Paul Orndorff, a gem of a man, but he is very up there in age. The most he did on the entire tour I've seen him is he'd come out with the main eventer, and he might throw one punch at somebody, but that was it. And I don't want to see.
Does he still have that white mustache kicking?
He's had a rough life. Yeah, he's got a bit of a mustache going. You know, it's well documented. Sorry?
I did not recognize him when I first saw the picture.
Oh, dude, he has aged badly the last couple of years, but he's still one of the nicest guys in the world. He looks a lot frailer. You remember he had that weird problem with his arm where he has the one arm got blown out, and so it's like a lot thinner and can barely work.
Yeah. Yeah, his one arm looked messed up. I think it was just left arm.
And that happened. Do you know when that actually happened? No. That happened before WrestleMania. He was supposed to, the first WrestleMania, you remember where he came out and he teamed with Roddy Piper?
Yep.
This happened just before it. He was supposed to get surgery, but he knew if he got surgery, he would not be part of this momentous occasion. He knew it was going to be big. He wrestled anyways, and he continued to wrestle while he was still hot, and it did such damage to his arm that's why it went like that.
Wow.
That's kind of crazy in my sense. We love wrestling, yeah, but how far are you going to take it? Who knows? Maybe we'll have to do a poll sometime about wrestling injured, but we're not doing a poll today. This is Wrestle Kingdom Day.
Yep.
We are not arguing.
Yep.
We're going to talk Wrestle Kingdom. So fans, thank you for all you people who voted. You know what? Me and Elio, we're not really that sad or happy about who wins or not, because the truth is we both agree with a lot of things, and we like to just take each side of the issue. I mean, I'm not even going to say if I really 100% agreed with what I said or if Elio did, but we like to talk and stimulate the conversation, and we want to hear what you fans think about this. So, Elio, I know it seems like a big loss this week, but not really. We know we weren't really competing. So, let's talk Wrestle Kingdom. Now, what do you know about Wrestle Kingdom, Elio?
Well, I know that Wrestle Kingdom is referred to as the WrestleMania of New Japan Wrestling, held every year on January the 4th from the Tokyo Dome.
Mm-hmm.
My first exposure to Wrestle Kingdom was Wrestle Kingdom 9, which was called by Jim Ross. That was the one event that I was asked to cover, and that was the first time I had ever seen Wrestle Kingdom. But I was already acquainted with and familiarized with many of the names that were on that card.
Well, you know what? It's also the very first time I saw New Japan too. I saw all the hype on pay-per-views. I'd heard about this. I heard Jim Ross was calling it. Brilliant to get North Americans into this, because I think it was really the big launch of a lot of people getting their first exposure to New Japan and liking it.
I do also have a website that I use frequently that speaks a lot about every pay-per-view event. Like they have like this history calendar and every month and every day, and they have every pay-per-view that took place on that day. So that's how I know it's like January 4th. A long list of Wrestle Kingdom pay-per-views, Wrestling World pay-per-views.
Well, that's excellent. Can you give fans this app out? Can you tell them where to get that?
Yeah, sure. This if you go on your internet browser, you look up WrestlingData.com, and on that you look on the left-hand side of the screen, scroll down to where it says History Calendar, hit that, and it will take you to a page where there's a graph with a month year along the left-hand side, and across the top they have like the days of the week, for that month, like the 1st to the 31st. You go to whatever date you want, look up any event you want. The results are there: birthdays, deaths, title reigns.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you know one of the best things I love about you, Elio? One of the best things I love working with you is I put tons of work into this, but you always teach me something myself. That's awesome. You cannot believe how much I love the fact that I may spend all week looking up stuff, finding stuff, hunting stuff, but then you'll come in and you'll tell me something I didn't even know existed. Love that. I want to thank you, buddy. That's some great work.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
You know what? You're right. Wrestle Kingdom is sort of like, some people equate it to the WrestleMania of the indies, but I don't think so. I think it's its own beast and its own flavor, and I like the fact that it's not a setup for television. This is the definitive end. All these matches we see, it's kind of the wrap-up of the year of a feud.
And also, it's not the WWE. It's not that to North American wrestling. It's that high-flying, acrobatic style.
It's everything. You're going to get comedy matches. You're going to get hardcore wrestling matches. You're going to get grappling. You're going to get those matches where guys stand there and punch each other in the face for like a half an hour to see who can take it.
Like I saw on Friday night.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I watched it last night because Road to Tokyo Dome, they had it on Friday, but I saw it last night.
Yeah, and I mean...
But yeah, that's what they were doing in the match.
Well, there's always a match like that every year somewhere on the card. We're going to go over the card. We'll probably highlight what match it's going to be. There's going to be technical wrestling. There's going to be comedy wrestling. There's going to be everything. And I think that's what's really fun. It is 4 hours, but I got to say the last 2 years that I watched, those 4 hours went pretty quick. So I'm hoping they keep this up because we got to watch this again. And let's hope that we're not stuck 4 hours wishing we were asleep.
But the only WWE pay-per-views are 4 hours
of garbage.
Right, that's the difference between that and NJPW. NJPW is 4 hours that we actually want to watch.
You know,
we don't even want to take a break. We get everything done before the show starts.
exactly, because I can't, you look at a 4-hour pay-per-view and I can guarantee you most times 3 of the 4 hours of a WWE pay-per-view is like, I could go to the bathroom, or I could care less what's going on, or what's going on is so stupid that you're kind of like, I don't get it. And then they give you that one match that keeps holding you on, or that 2 matches, that make you come back. But New Japan, unless you're 100% unfamiliar with the wrestlers going in, you're going to enjoy most of this card. This is the part of the year where everyone highlights what they do their best. So let's take a look now at we have, hopefully this is the most updated what we found for card out there. First of all, there is the pre-show gauntlet. All right. It features the team of Rizuki Taguchi and Toru Yano and Togi Makabe taking on the team of Dave Finlay, Jeff Cobb, and Michael Elgin. They'll be versus the Best Friends and Hiroyoko Goto versus the Killer Elite Squad and Minoru Suzuki versus Marty Scurll, Adam Page, and Yujiro Takahashi. Now that's a lot of names we've thrown at you. So let's take a quick look at what these teams are about, okay?
Okay.
First of all, the team of Rizuki Taguchi, Toru Yano, and Togi Makabe. This is a really strange team because
I'm familiar with 2 of the 3.
Which 2? You're probably Yano, the comedian, right?
Toru Yano and Togi Makabe.
And Makabe. Okay. Now
I've only heard the name Ryusuke Taguchi.
Now Taguchi is the guy who says you would have saw him on Wrestle Kingdom 9. He has Funky Pickle written on the back of his trunks all the time.
Okay, I don't know. That was like
2 years ago. Yeah.
Back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, he's sort of he's kind of a comedy guy who can really wrestle when he wants to. His kind of shtick is he always is the coach of his team, and when things get going, he's like directing people in the ring, and like Asuka, he tends to like to use his bum a lot. So lots of hip attacks constantly. So this is why I say this is a weird team, is because all 3 of these guys do not come from any of the same stables. They all come from different stables, and we've talked about stables. And this has been kind of a new ongoing trend, is everybody is gunning so hard to take out the Bullet Club that now groups are splintering together and putting guys to match up to try and take out the Bullet Club. Obviously, the Bullet Club here are the champions, but here's a 3-man squad of guys from different things who you would never see team up anywhere else, and their bottom line is take out the Bullet Club.
So these are all the guys that are banding together to take out Jay White.
Yep. They want Jay White and the Tongans to pay a price.
Okay.
The next team, obviously Dave Finlay, we've talked about, the son of Fit Finlay. Jeff Cobb. My goodness, you've seen Jeff Cobb. Incredible.
The man can move around the ring. Holy geez.
For a man his size. And Michael Elgin, another powerhouse. This is an interesting All-American team. I think they'll do okay, but I'm really not seeing them as coming out of this gauntlet, to be honest. Best Friends and Hiroyoko Goto. This is a strict.
Yes.
You've seen Goto, haven't you? He's the guy who's always kind of dressed in the traditional Japanese kind of samurai clothing.
Yep.
Yeah. He I find this a hilariously funny pairing because here's a guy who you're lucky if he says 2 words the entire week of wrestling. Okay? And then you have the Best Friends, Trent Beretta and Chucky Taylor. These guys will not shut up. They're holding hands, walk into the ring. I wonder if they get Goto to hold their hand. That'll be interesting. You want to bet that do you think they're going to get Goto to hold their hands while they go down there?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
I'm saying I don't think he would do that with the character that he has.
Yeah.
Just not the whole samurai thing. Yeah.
Now here is an interesting one. This is going to be a crazy team to watch for in here. Minoru Suzuki. That crazy man. Teaming up with those 2 giants, the Killer Elite Squad. Lance Archer, Davey Boy Smith Jr.
Lance Archer and Davey Boy Smith, yes.
That is a scary team. I think the 3 of them, I think they'll probably run through this, and they will probably come out. I think they're going to win this and become the number 1 contenders for the 6-man belt. And then the last team is kind of, I don't know what we call them. They're not really Bullet Club. They're kind of on the edges. Marty Scurll, Adam Page, and Yujiro Takahashi, all formerly of Bullet Club. 2 of them call themselves Elite.
Takahashi, I think that was the guy you were talking about last week.
The Tokyo Pimp.
Yes, with the black hat and the black vest.
Yeah. Comes out with the pretty girls and a pimpin' stick.
Now that I see the name, I recognize. Yeah.
Now, looking at those teams we've named, I am going to pick the Killer Elite Squad and Minoru Suzuki. What do you think?
Yeah, looking at this list, the Minoru Suzuki, look that guy. I've ever talked about that guy. That guy's scary looking.
Is he not?
He could. I wouldn't go against Minoru Suzuki. I'm gonna have to pick that team.
Yeah, I think I think they definitely are the team to watch in this gauntlet.
I want Suzuki as my tag team partner.
Yeah, I don't want to ever face him. I want him on my team. But that being said, it's a known fact that before each of their matches during the cards, he does a workout session with his stable where they hit each other full force.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so they take turns beating the crap out of each other before they go out and beat the crap out of others. I guess they're equal crap beating, so... Now, here we go into our next match. It is for the IWGP Junior Tag Team belts. The current champions, Yoshinobu Kanemaru and El Desperado. They've held these belts for a very long time. Taking on Roppongi 3K and the team of Bushi and Shingo Takagi from the Los Ignobles de Japón.
Who's Roppongi 3K?
Roppongi 3K, Sho and Yo.
What are they made up of?
I don't know if you remember them back last year in Ring of Honor, but they used to be the Tempura Boys.
No, I remember. Yeah, I know Sho and Yo. Okay.
Yeah.
I just didn't know because I know the Roppongi Vice.
Yeah, this was
Trent Beretta and Rocky Romero.
Yeah, when Romero retired, he promised last year that he would bring out a whole new Roppongi team that he would manage. So he manages Roppongi 3K. And they're the Roppongi 3000, I guess, is the thing. Two young guys. They started out last year. They won the belts last Wrestle Kingdom and then promptly lost them. Kanemaru and El Desperado, they've held these belts for most of the year. Pretty solid team. They cheat like crazy. Lots of dirtiness. They are part of the Suzuki Goon, so you've always got Suzuki's guys running around interfering. Who do you want to pick for this match? This is a tough one. I know this one's going to be a little bit strange to pick.
I want to go with Roppongi 3K.
Sounds good. Roppongi 3K is a solid pick. I am going to go with the team of Bushi and Shingo Takahashi. I think Los Ignobles have not had a tag team for a while in the junior heavyweights. Shingo has been awesome since he's come in the last month or two. And Bushi, always a solid contender. I think they might be the team to watch for. For all I know, though, Kanemaru and El Desperado might squeak out. Our next one.
I always thought of it.
Sorry?
I always thought it was Suzuki Gun.
Yeah.
You said Suzuki Goon?
That's what they're called. Suzuki Goon means Suzuki Gang.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's in Japanese. Goon. Goon is spelled G-U-N. It means like gang.
No, so when I saw it and like Suzuki Gun.
Yeah. Now here's a match I know that you're interested in. I know you know these two guys. It'll be for the Revolution Pro British Heavyweight Championship. Tomohiro Ishii taking on Zack Sabre Jr. Boy, this is you've got the master of the technical versus one of those guys that stand there and takes headbutts, kicks, punches to the face, and rocks through.
I already know who I'm gonna go for. I'm really not into Zack Sabre Jr. much. So I'm gonna take Tomohiro Ishii.
Tomohiro Ishii, strong, scary guy. I think, however, this is the year in New Japan for Zack Sabre. I think he's building some momentum. It's it's the British Heavyweight Championship. I think this might, I love Ishii. Ishii is such a tough guy. But that's Zack Sabre Jr. I can't stand him. He is such a jerk, but that guy can wrestle. Every time you throw something at him, he turns it into something. I think this will be this will be his homecoming of his sorts. I think I see him taking the belt. Next up, this one has all kinds of weird implications, so we're really going to have to look at this one. The Young Bucks versus the team of Evil and Sonata versus the Gorillas of Destiny, who are the current champions, for the IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team Championship. What are you seeing there, Elio? Well, the crowd's getting excited now.
I don't know. I'm like an Evil and Sonata.
You're like an Evil and Sonata?
However, I do have to say the Young Bucks. I'm gonna have to retract my statement from a few weeks back because I said I wasn't a fan of theirs. But
and they made you fans now?
I wasn't a fan of their whole Generation Me run. But then after they left, I kept hearing about the Young Bucks. I'm like, who are these Young Bucks? Why are they so special? So I still couldn't get into them, but then I started watching them. One of their matches I saw was
what the appeal is,
the Young Bucks against the War Machine.
Oh yes, great! That was a great match. The Young Bucks have come a long way. They've gone past the the just flash in the pan, fancy moves. You know, people who give them a lot of crap for the way they wrestle. These guys sell. They do things. They do things that make sense now, but they also do things that are spectacular. So yeah, they're a great team. Evil and Sonata, they've held the belts once this year. Tough team. They are good. Sonata, all athletic ability. Evil, he's kind of like the powerhouse of that team. And then the team I'm picking, the Gorillas of Destiny. It just seems that Tama Tonga and Tongaloa are just hitting the right stride here. I don't know about the Young Bucks. Are they very much longer for the for New Japan? I mean, they are talking about being free agents. I mean, for all I know, this is just a goodbye for the end of the year. I'm going to go with Gorillas of Destiny.
When they talking about
making their own company, doing other stuff.
starting their own promotion.
Yeah. So you're going Evil and Sonata. That's a strong pick.
Yep.
I'm going to go the Gorillas of Destiny, and I don't know though. That this is the tag team belts. They can easily turn hands because there's all three of these teams are really strong teams. Let's face it. Evil and Sonata, they made it through the World Tag League to get here. That was a long, grueling tournament. We covered, boy, as much as we could. That was a lot, Elio. But let's move on to the next one. Here's an interesting one. Juice Robinson taking on Cody Rhodes for the IWGP United States Championship. Does Juice make a comeback, or does Cody still go out? Cody's still one of the best wrestlers in all of Indy. Who are you picking on this one, man?
I haven't seen much of Juice Robinson. I know him from NXT. I forget what.
He's CJ Parker.
CJ Parker, yeah.
And you didn't see much out of that guy.
I'm taking Cody in this one.
You're picking Cody? Okay,
yeah.
Cody to defend. I'm going to take Juice Robinson. I think Juice has spent, he in the last 2 years has really gone from that horrible CG Parker character to a very strong, the fans love him. His interviews this year have been outrageously funny. He's struggled with a broken hand at the beginning of the year, but all signs show him to be recovered. Brandy Rhodes obviously was somebody that they'll have to watch out for. We saw her interfere a lot in ROH's final battle.
I just hope Cody doesn't throw Brandy in a dangerous way, because we saw what happened at the final battle.
Yeah, he did not seem to care much that Brandy got hurt, and the announcers were very quick to point that out. I think Juice is going to take this just because I think the guy has been building momentum again this year. He kind of cooled off at the beginning of the year. I think this is his time to rise up again. And I think Cody too is another person who might not be that long for New Japan either. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. Now here is a really cool match. Taiji Ishimori, you've seen him. He's the Bone Soldier, they call him, taking on the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion Kushida. Kushida, who's probably one of the best junior heavyweights in the last decade. The man's incredible. You've seen him in the Time Splitters. You've seen him during the tournament. He teamed up with Chris Sabin. The guy's amazing. Who do you see going over here? Do you see the Bone Soldier winning, or do you see Kushida holding his belt at the end of this?
I'm taking Ishimori.
Yep, good pick. Me too. I think it's time. The Bullet Club has been a little bit quiet. He represents the Bullet Club as the Bone Soldier. I think that Kushida, I got to wonder too, is Kushida even really, here's a guy, why is he still a junior heavyweight? I mean, he has the tools to be a heavyweight. And I think it's time that he looks past this belt and go forward. I think he should be in the heavyweights. I think Ishimori, he has been an incredible light heavyweight this year. I agree with you, Elio. I think he's going to take the belt this year. Next up, Kazuchika Okada versus Jay White. This is one of the hot ones. This is where we have Jay White, who betrayed his stablemate, Okada, turned on him, took Geto. They joined the Bullet Club, leaving Chaos. Okada has been so mad at this. He's not even trying to take runs at belts anymore. All he wants is Jay White. Jay White has done everything he can to try and run away like the great coward that he is. Who's going to win, though? Because let's face it, Switchblade may act like a coward, but he has done some devious, mean things to people all year.
But then when you have a guy who turns on his own stablemate or teammate, like he did to Okada, then Okada's only main focus would be to get revenge on Jay White.
And it's not common in New Japan for somebody to turn on their stablemate. That's a rarity. And that's caused a lot of anger. And that's probably why a lot of other stablemates have tried to form together to get revenge on Jay White and the Bullet Club. Who do you see coming out of this, man?
Yeah, I'm going with Okada.
The Rainmaker. Whoa.
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know, like I said, it's Jay White turned on him, so his main focus would obviously be to get revenge on White.
I'm going to agree with you. Okada, the Rainmaker, man. The first time I saw 2 years ago when I saw the first Wrestle Kingdom, when it was Okada in the main event, even though he lost that match, I thought he was probably one of the best wrestlers I ever saw in my life. Jay White, he has really improved the last year. The Switchblade is obviously a jerk of a character. He's the chicken shit heel that everyone wants beat up. He's done a lot to Okada. It's thrown Okada off his game. I think this is the time for Okada to take out Jay White, and then he should be looking at the heavyweight belt. He shouldn't be messing around anymore with ridiculous nonsense. It's time for the Rainmaker back on top. So I think I think Jay White's in for a great beating that night. Now next we have Tetsuya Naito taking on Chris Jericho for the IWGP Intercontinental Championship. Chris Jericho, who won this belt last year from him, who has he even defended it all year? If he has a smaller schedule than Brock Lesnar, because I think he's only fought once or twice this entire year.
Well, I follow Jericho on Instagram. I've mainly seen him with his band playing a concert.
So Naito, leader of Los Ignoble, taking on Chris Jericho for the belt. Who do you see coming out of here, Elio?
I don't know. I like Naito because Jericho seems... Jericho's main focus these days seems to be Fozzy and future projects.
True.
Outside of wrestling.
But when he has come out, he's shown this crazy dark side that has really been shocking too. Looking at it, I am going to pick... You know what? I'm going to pick Chris Jericho. Why not?
Okay.
Chris Jericho is... I'm probably going to be wrong here, but I'm hoping he takes the belt and proves that he's still a great guy. And hopefully, maybe the Fozzy thing tours down a little bit and maybe have a more solid wrestling from him. Because let's face it, he's always fun.
I like this. I like this whole new look that he has. This dark Chris Jericho.
It is good. Now, this card we are looking at, it's missing one match, and let's talk about that match before we get here.
Oh,
okay. It's missing Will Ospreay taking on Kota Ibushi.
Oh yes, okay.
Now, wow. These are two of the most talented... These guys do stuff in there that just amazes me. Ospreay, how he's not dead with broken bones after his matches is beyond me. I think he does more damage to himself flying around there. And Ibushi, I don't know if you ever heard of this guy, but he is a nut job and a half, but he knows wrestling. And I've seen, like last year, we've seen him tons of times jumping off fan railings, doing all kinds of crazy things. And this is the kind of match I'm really having a hard time. Who do you pick here? I mean, they're both extremely talented. They both have a drive behind them. And they both are, in my opinion, probably two of the best wrestlers in the entire world. Elio, why don't you start?
Yeah.
Who are you thinking here? You thinking Ospreay or are you thinking Ibushi?
They are both talented. I'm going to take Ibushi, but the thing about Ospreay is when he's on the defense and like getting beaten down, just like it seems like he's like trying hard to sell it, and just doesn't come off as convincing.
Okay, Ibushi,
like Saturday night, he was locked in this scissors lock around his waist. And like he's reaching for the ropes, and all you hear him is say, "It hurts."
Score.
I'm like, okay, I don't know if I can like buy this guy like when he gets like beaten down like that.
I'm not sure what to think of this. I mean, here's two guys who they have so much to gain, and actually a lot to lose. You know, lots of times in these things, guys can come away with losses and still not hurt them. Either guy losing this match can stop a lot of their momentum because they're both on a really crazy fast track here. I'm going to go with Will Ospreay just because he has been building momentum since his last injury. He's been coming off strong. Ibushi has always been Ibushi, but it seems he's really kind of taken to being in the shadow of Kenny Omega too much. And I don't know if he is ready to break out of that shadow. I think Will Ospreay is going to keep him in the shadow a little bit longer. All right, now we're going to look at the main event. And this one is there's so many reasons to pick each guy or not pick each guy. We're talking about Hiroshi Tanahashi, the ace of New Japan, taking on Kenny Omega, the current IWGP heavyweight champion, guy who's considered probably the best wrestler in the world today. This is a tough one really to pick out. Elio, you tell me who you pick, and then I'll tell you who or why I pick.
I like Kenny Omega.
Okay. Kenny Omega's been delivering some of the best
because,
matches.
I saw him on Saturday night in that main event on Road to Tokyo Dome, and just like his whole like style, and so he can move around and he's got some really cool moves.
Yeah. He's got one of the most unique sets for sure, and he has a finishing move I don't think anyone's ever kicked out of yet, is the one-winged angel.
Near fall after near fall in that match, and then there was this one where I forget who it was, but out of the corner I think it was Ibushi with the 450 on, I forget who they was, but then Omega took the other guy out of the corner and powerbombed him right over Ibushi, and he went flying across the ring.
Oh my goodness, yeah. Now I'm still in my head here as we're even talking here. I'm still juggling who I think should win this. One hand, Kenny Omega is considered one of the best wrestlers. He's incredible. Tanahashi has really shown very strong this year. One of the strongest years he's had in a little while. He's battled with a bicep injury for quite a while, but he's been coming on very strong. So I think of that. Then I think of the negatives. Well, Tanahashi has been champion many times. He's been here before many times. However, he's not at his peak physical shape. He is a lot older than he has been in a while. There's that. Kenny Omega, as great as he looks, he's been talking about leaving after him and the Elite going off and doing their own thing. So do you risk keeping the belt on a guy who's going to leave? This has been very confusing for me because my heart wants to say Kenny Omega. My brain says that might not be a good pick. I had that great interview with Kenny Omega. I met him a couple of years ago. Found him to be an excellent wrestling mind. I could have sat and talked for hours.
In Japan.
What's that?
Fluent in Japan.
No. Yeah. Oh, yes. He's fluent in Japanese. He really commits.
Japanese.
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah.
He commits so much to everything he does in wrestling. Tanahashi.
Fluent in Japanese, and he was singing. They were singing at the end of the match.
Now Tanahashi, though. How can you not like this guy? He's got a heart bigger than his head. He just keeps fighting. He keeps trying to defend New Japan's honor. I am going to go crazy, and as much as it breaks my heart, I am going to pick Hiroshi Tanahashi to win the belt. Oh, yeah. I know you're going to pick Kenny Omega. I know we got some interest. We're going to have to check back. We're trying to get Rick and Tony to join us on a post Wrestle Kingdom, see what they thought about it. It won't be obviously that morning. We're going to give a few days for us all to digest what we've seen. But you know what? Yep. I'm looking forward to a really fun 4 hours. We have to cover these matches regardless. Sometimes we see, out of the 12 hours that each of me and Elio watch, we'll see 4 hours of crap, 8 hours of good, 6 hours crap, 6 hours good. Who knows? Yep. Sometimes we get these horrible weeks where we get 11 hours of crap and 1 hour of good. But there's always good out there. And we're willing to dig for it, fans, because we want you to be able to find the best in wrestling, too. So, Elio, we're getting to the end of the New Japan Christmas preview. I want to wish you a Merry Christmas, my friend. I've been having a great time teaming with you.
It's been fun. Yes, Merry Christmas to you as well.
All right. Well, you know what, fans? We also want to wish you guys a Merry Christmas. And watch New Japan. Send in the comments. We want to thank you all for your votes. Any last thing you want to send out there, Elio?
Nope. Other than just say Merry Christmas and enjoy the holidays. And we'll see you we'll talk to you all in the new year.
Well, fans, that's been a great episode today. We look forward to seeing you next time. I'm your host, the legend. Well, I like to call myself legend sometimes. TJ Logan and
Elio Canella.
Elio, great night, folks. Talk to you next time.